What's up, everyone? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind the bar reviews for 7 Deadly Sins, chapter 323. Now, this chapter is a good chapter. It's a good chapter, and I won't hear any crap from anybody about this chapter, because honestly, there was nothing wrong with this chapter. We got characters acting like themselves, we got some build-up, and I'm glad I waited, because guys, I know for a fact that this was translated almost 2 days ago, by the time you guys will get this review. However, I waited, you know what, and I'll tell you about it later, because it's one of the last lines in the chapter that I wanted to wait for multiple translations just to be sure about, because it's something that I theorized while seeing the raws, and I just wanted it to be concrete before I made a total ass of myself. So that's the reason for the lateness of the review. Sorry about that. Let's get underway with this chapter, because right off the bat, we jump right in. The chapter's called I Am Here, and the cover page, I mean, once again, I wish that Nakaba would use the cover page more like Oda does in certain instances. However, here, it fits the tone of the chapter. It's fine. It's like, I'm your brother, I always have been, blah, blah, blah. We see a shot as elders. It's fine. So we get into this, and this is the best part, because honestly, I read this speech from Demon King Gelda, and guys, I don't care about who in Grimm's Discord. I don't care who in my comment section is going to tell me that it's not actually the Demon King. Sorry guys. I mean, cheers to you guys for sticking to your guns. I always do. Like, kudos to you. I'll have a drink. Yeah, I'll have a drink in your name, because good on you guys for sticking to your guns and going on the 1% chance that was still viably there. But, I mean, that should have been tarnished a couple chapters ago, but here, finalized once again. Demon King is basically talking through a Gelda skin, Men in Black. Once again, how many references do I need to make to the Men in Black Edgar skin before people get it? That's the same thing going on here. And pretty much, Gelda goes on this whole speech. The Demon King goes on this whole speech to Mellie Otis. We're in the mind world. And says this whole tirade of how selfish can you be, blah, blah. And honestly, I don't get this. Like, I get the whole you betrayed Zell twice thing. Fine, dandy, sort of. And the bulk of what was said. But some of it, I'm like, I don't get the whole selfish desires part. It's like, no, he's being selfless for the first time when it comes to his brother. Third time's a charm sort of idea. I agree with the betrayal parts. I get the whole I haven't been a good brother part. He's trying to make up for it now. It's literally a selfless act. Otherwise, he would have just bitch slapped the Demon King after 3 Frieza transformations later. He would have killed the Demon King long before. He didn't, not because he's selfish, but because he's selfless. So this speech to me makes no damn sense. I understand that the Demon King is trying to be a little bit like coercive and corruptive and all that fun jazz. But once again, the speech itself just doesn't make any sense, because it's not true. He's actually being selfless, not selfish. So I'm so glad that he was like completely cut off. He's like, Zell just says fine, they found some tranquility and all this stuff, and you of all people to awaken from something, Zell! You know, I'm like, okay, like right there with that page, I felt like, have you ever heard Christopher Sabat yell Cell in the original Cell Saga? Did you ever hear that? Like when he was literally, his voice was like he was losing his voice and going hoarse. That shit right there. That's what I heard right now. I heard that like rumble right down here, right there in the chords, right there in the throat. I heard it, you know, like it was one of those great. I really liked it because just totally cut off. Stop with your speech. I'm talking to my brother right now, sort of idea. And Zeldris actually wakes up from this and goes, Mellie Otis, is that you? And this, I found this comical because here's what the dialogue is, verbatim. It's basically, Mellie Otis, is that you? He's like, what are you doing here? And he says, I've come to save you. And he's like, you have come to save me? Yes. So, I have come to save you. Yes. 7 words. 7 damn words. And the Demon King loses his shit. And just goes, Zeldris, don't listen to all his pretty words. Don't listen to his speeches. He said 7 words. 7 words. Don't listen to him. Like, He said one sentence, dude. One sentence and one word. That was it. Like, I for some reason, I understand, like, technically, he said words. Like you said, don't listen to his words. And it was, 7 words, so more than one word. So it's accurate, but it seems like an over-exaggeration. It's not like Mellie Otis went on a whole, like, you've been lied to this entire time, brother. There's this whole New World Order conspiracy theory, 2012, all that stuff. Y2K has happened, all this stuff. And explained a whole half a manga chapter of Eisen-level monologue. He said 7 words. Like, it just feels like, I don't know. Did you guys get that? Because I thought it was funny. I really did. I actually laughed out loud when I saw it. I was like, how many words, how many words did he actually say? Because remember, on that page, you see, yes, Zelda's reaction, and don't listen to him. He said one word, yes. Like, jeez. I don't know, guys. I thought it was funny. Maybe I'm just losing my marbles here. I could be, I am getting older. Maybe that senior citizen discount's coming. So, anyways, after that part, the Demon King in Gelda's form, of course, is talking, trying to salvage the situation, basically saying, like, I'm the one who loves you, he's the one who killed me. So they're going off of that logic that Mellie Otis actually killed Gelda. We know that's not true, but blah, blah, blah. And just feeding Zeldris all these lies. And here's something, I think it was actually Grimm. Grimm, good on you. Kudos to you. I know you don't watch my videos, you dick. But I know for a fact that I'm 90% sure that Grimm was one of the people, not everyone, but one of the people that did say this. And I agreed with it, and I think Sundown did as well. So shout out to me and Sundown as well. That Zeldris wasn't actually falling for this act. That Zeldris was just basically like, I'm done. I'm done for a minute. I need a goddamn moment. I just need a minute. Can I sit down? Can I close my eyes for 10 seconds? Please. That's all I'm asking. That is what some of us in the community thought that Zeldris was doing. That Zeldris would not be confused like this. He knows he's in his father's mind body. He wouldn't be so easily confused by this. And even if it was, he would know it was a lie. So Zeldris is a smarter character. And this is where some fan base was actually pissed off because like Zeldris fell for it. And I'm like, no, not really. And here it's literally said like that. Zeldris goes, I know that. I knew all along. And he says, well, what did you know? And like, huh? What's going on? And it's like, yes, of course you knew your brother is always a liar. He goes, no, I knew you weren't the real Gelda but all I wanted was basically a moment. I wanted to believe it was real because this is my happy ending. It's the same with Gowther, with Nadja. It was the same idea. Gowther took a moment to enjoy seeing Nadja again because as far as Zeldris is concerned, he's never going to see Gelda again. So he took his moment. Yes, did it go on for more than a second? Sure. But in retrospect, give the man a break. He just saw his beloved after over 3,000 years. We're assuming they were conscious for those 3,000 years in the sealed. He's deserved a few more minutes, sort of idea. Like, let the man sleep in. The alarm went off at 7. Let him wake up at 7:05, okay? Give the man a break. And a lot of us called it, and I was one of them, and it's true. Because Zeldris says it verbatim himself. They're like, I wanted to believe it was true. I knew it wasn't true. I just reveled in the happiness of it for a few minutes. But I know the real Gelda wouldn't say stuff like that to me. She would never say what you're saying right now. So I know you're full of shit. Like, Father, Demon King, whatever he says. And then the Gelda there, like, gets shocked, fades away, you fool, and goes back to that demon thing. And then illusion set in because then Mellie Otis is like, all right, Zeldris is like, yeah, Mellie Otis, let's do this. And then boom, 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 boom. It's a spider web of Zeldris, all hallucinating, all basically yelling at each other that you're the fake, no, you're the fake, no, you're the fake. And we've seen this in The Force of White Dreams, same idea with all the Elizabeths. So interesting to find out. Mellie Otis, this was the only problem with the chapter, honestly, that I actually had, I think. I don't think I had another problem with the chapter. I did have a problem with this moment. Because Mellie Otis, after literally being in the same situation as Zeldris, and then at the same time being also understanding the Forest of White Dreams, And also, Gother explaining, not a chapter ago, here's how this world works. Mellie Otis draws a sword like, I'm just going to cut them all down and then I'll figure it out. Cuts. Gother manages to get in front and stop him, so he only cuts Gother because, as I said, Gother then re-explains, like, Mellie Otis, he doesn't call him an idiot, he should have, Gother. This is a perfect time to call your captain a moron. Be like, CO, I'm sorry, commanding officer, you're a total idiot. You're a moron. I didn't realize before. You can't interfere with this world. You affect it too greatly. You're going to be automatically rejected and kicked out by the nature of the world. The mind is a fragile thing. If it sees you, it's like a computer system. It's like virus software. It sees you as a threat, it attacks you and gets you out of there. It doesn't want its system harmed. It'll see you as a foreign object and you'll be gone. Mellie Otis knew this, understood this, and still went forward 5 minutes later. Emotions running high, maybe, but no, that was a little too brash on Mellie Otis' part, and I was like, no, you literally, like, had that been told back in the Demon King fight, maybe, then he could be like, oh, maybe he forgot or something, but this is Mellie Otis, like, this is a little too hot-headed for him sort of idea. I don't see Mellie Otis doing something like this, generally speaking, so didn't really care for that. But they are trying to work together in some way, and Gother is kicked out because he took Mellie Otis' slash, and he basically says, you have to find a way to help Zeldris figure all this out. You need to find a way to break the hallucination, to break the illusion without without actually directly interfering too much. And then Gother's kicked out, and we jump back to the real world. So Gother is kicked back into his body, and we see that it's Bond, King, and Escanor against the Demon King, keeping them occupied, while Merlin has protected everyone. Miss Bloodstained Ellie, who could do so much, apparently, is inside the Perfect Cube, along with all the other weaklings who can't actually go toe-to-toe with the Demon King. Bloodstained Ellie, a bullshittery. Anyways, we see that Gother basically summarizes what's going on. Situation's dire, I was kicked out, Mellie was still there, blah, blah, blah. Then we see the Demon King is like, oh, you fools, yeah, this vessel is mine, sort of idea. Then we see, boom, Gelda, bam, neck of the Demon King, right there, getting all that good jugular, getting there. And then something pretty gruesome. Calls her a bitch, says, you manipulated my son, grabs her off his neck, and frickin' boom! You heard of decapitation? This is de-pull-aparteration. That was pretty gruesome. That was bad. That was like, no, not my cup of tea, but I guess Demon King enjoys being like that. Anyways, so everyone's freaking out. Deanne's freaking out. Deanne is there for... Anybody can tell me that Escanor is a worse damn character than Deanne? Remember that Deanne went through the same trope that everybody hates twice. That is her storyline. And then she was reduced to a comedic, reaction character for the last arc because she's not strong enough. So anybody want to tell me how Deanne's better Sin than Escanor, you go right ahead, but you're wrong. Anyways, because what a waste of panel. Stop showing Deanne. I don't care about her. She's scared of bugs. Yeah, Misty did that in 1998. Move on. In Pokemon. Oh my god, she's all woo like that. Yeah, I mean, watch a horror movie and you'll see any woman scream. Go watch Jamie Lee Curtis, the Scream Queen herself. Better reaction. So I can't stand Deanne. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. This chapter was good. We see that everyone's like, how could you do that? Bond's like, how could you do that to a woman? Then we see the body rising out of the water and the head reattaching, and Gelda's basically giving a speech, basically saying, 7 deadly sins, I thank you very much, blah, 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 but don't underestimate the regenerative powers of a vampire. Now, here's the line that I was curious about, because it's worded a little differently per translation. I'm going to use the one that I think is the most correct, which is especially someone like me who has fed on Zell's blood. Now, you could take this to mean that's why she grabbed the neck. And this is something that I wanted to talk about. She bit the neck, sucked the blood. There are two ways to look at this. Is that she already sucked Zeldris's blood previously in the past. And as someone who inherited the blood of the son of the Demon King, she's been, draining him for a while, in probably a sexy, kinky vampire. Go watch Vampire Diaries mixed with Twilight, mixed with 50 Shades, and you'll get an idea of what probably went on between them. But that kind of idea, right? That's possible, or she could have been referring to the fact that this is still Zeldris's body, she just drank his blood. However, that leads me to believe another thing. So, either way, the fact of the matter is that her regenerative capabilities are improved. She confirms this. It's something that I speculated when I saw the raws, and I waited just to make sure this was true, is that her being able to reattach her head so easily and be totally fine, I believe that is a little bit to do with Zel's blood, because she herself states it. So, okay, whether she got it right then that instant, or she drained him a long time ago and powered up Underworld sort of idea. Selene drank the blood of Michael Corvinus. Spoilers for Underworld Evolution. So she's a much more powerful, original type of vampire than she ever was before. Fine. Whatever. After this fact, she goes on to say, the Demon King starts being you're totally outclassed in this battle, so Demon King, you're outclassed. That's going to accidentally kill your ass, so I don't know what you're talking about. But either way, and got the jump on you. Outclassed, but Gelda got the jump on you. So, tit for tat, I guess. But Demon King basically bitches at her and says, you're not part of this battle, blah, blah, blah. And that's when Gelda's sit down, old man, and let me school you a little bit in the new age, what's going on here. Because here's the deal. I didn't just attack you for the sake of attacking you. I drank your blood. Your blood is a connection to your soul world and that body's, which is Zeldris's. And I'm going to jutsu my way. She does something crazy like this. I'm going to Naruto jutsu my way into your soul world. Bye-bye. Pieces. I'm alright, that was cool. I agreed with that. We knew the blood would come into play. There's more than one way to enter this soul world. Once again, it's called the soul world, not the mind world. So, alright, I'll go on the fact that it's the soul world. Once again, I believe, I stated this before in many videos when it was Mellie Otis, Demon King, and then it was a soul world more so than a mind world, but same idea. And suffice to say here that at the end of the chapter, Mellie Otis is struggling to figure it out. Zeldris has kind of given up and basically said, kill me so we can kill Father. I would rather die than be a part of him, and this is your chance, yada, yada, yada. And then Zeldris goes on and says, I see all these hallucinations. They're still part of my own consciousness. I'm not going to be able to fight against all this stuff. So he basically looks at Mellie Otis and says, listen, brother, I got something I want to tell Gelda, and I want you to tell her for me. So, in the interim, I guess, Zeldris always believed when Mellie Otis told him that Gelda was alive, he never fell for that when the Demon King said so. He still believes that Mellie Otis told the truth, so he believes Gelda's alive, according to Mellie Otis' word, which she is, but still. So, faith in his brother showing right there with that line, and I think some people miss that is a good show of faith right there. That, no, Gelda is alive, and he still believes it. And it's confirmed right here at the end of the chapter, but Zeldris says, I have something I want you to pass on to Gelda. And Mellie's no, you tell her yourself. I'm not being your messenger boy. You're going to tell her. And then Gelda shows up and be yeah, you are going to tell me, sort of idea. And boom, she shows up, Gelda's our rival. They're I'm going to figure out which one's the real one. She's bursting in, and I'm yeah. So the side question was another bullshit question. Not even going to get into that. Something about the taste of Mellie Otis' pies or what price they would be. Oh man, what a waste. Every single time, especially in an arc like this where there's so much controversy, there needs to be more relevant questions. Nakaba, you need to use the cover page more relevant. You need to answer more relevant questions. We need this. I understand that you can't stop the flow of the story, but you don't see Yoda stopping the flow of the story, and he still manages to do crazy crap like SBS's Viva Ricards and use cover pages. So, what's wrong with you? Either way, that was the end of the chapter. It's a really good chapter. It sets up 324 really well. I'm curious to see what the real Gelda and the real Zeldris conversation is, and I would like to see how Gelda is actually going to figure it out without interfering, because I believe the same rules apply. Gelda can't directly interfere with the Soul World either. The Soul World is still Zeldris's / Demon King's. The foreign objects are still Gelda and Mellie Otis, so I'm very curious to figure out, like, how is Gelda actually going to figure it out? Because I believe it's going to take a combination of Gelda and Mellie Otis, and then they're going to drag. I'm interested, I really am. And are we going to see Escanor actually go into the one before they figure it out? It's very interesting, because I'm curious whether Escanor will go in the one and be like, they've taken too much time, we can't risk it any longer, you know, and he wants to do some crazy, like, I used my finger before, I've used my hand, now my whole body, you know, and he's going to go do a whole, like, clothesline sort of idea, use his whole arm or something in the one form to, like, Escanor Divine Clothesline, you know, and rip his head off. I'm curious if it's going to come down to the wire like that, and then boom, right at the last minute. It's a potential, but what do you guys think down in the comment section down below? I really enjoyed this chapter. I like Gelda's character in this chapter. I like Zeldris. I love that Zeldris was not a fool. He's still, as Nia D. Hemmings would say, he's still the GOAT. Our prince is still the GOAT, and he's really great. So what did you guys think of the chapter? I liked it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, it's always very much appreciated. This has been Griever with your Behind the Bar reviews for 323 of 7 Deadly Sins. See you next time. Oh wait, I'm supposed to drink responsibly. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm not drinking responsibly tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Still, nonetheless, I hope you guys do. We'll see you next time.